Before the invention of the printing press in the 1400s, it could take a monk 20 years to transcribe a single book. Think about that. That's like 3 books per lifetime. And contrast that with today, in which we live in a world where there's a vending machine style printer in London that can print out a 540-page edition of Crime and Punishment in 9 minutes. Speaking of books and lifetimes, there are now over 1 million free digitized books on Google. To read all of them in your lifetime, you'd have to read 380 books per day, which is actually kind of depressing, all of the books that you'll never have time to read. Sorry, I know this video was supposed to be reasons to be happy. Fact, 2 out of every 3 Americans cannot name a single Supreme Court justice, which is not that surprising when you consider that 50% of Americans are below average intelligence, which is actually true by definition. That's like a statistics joke, but it's true also that 2 out of 3 Americans can't name a Supreme Court justice, and that's kind of crazy because if you think about it, being on the Supreme Court is like one of the highest achievements you could ever have in life. Now, you might not be able to name any or all of the Supreme Court justices, but I can pretty much guarantee you that you could name several teachers who have impacted your life. Teachers are something to be happy about and grateful for. Before the invention of the Dewey Decimal System, every library had its own system of organizing books, and many just arranged them based on size, not on subject matter. If you were browsing for books at the library, you couldn't be like, I want to read a fantasy novel. You'd be like, what length book am I in the mood for? I think 376 pages. What do they have at that length? The History of Copper Pots and Pans. Sounds really boring, but it is exactly the length I was looking for. Before the invention of locks, historians think that people just tied knots out of rope on their doors, and they would try to use a unique knot like a signature, so if you saw that the knot was different, you'd be like, I guess someone broke into my hut. Then about 6,000 years ago, the Egyptians invented the first lock, and they made those locks out of wood, so I guess they had not yet invented the saw. For most of human history, most human beings have slept on the ground, but even after people had money to buy mattresses, up until the late 18th century when cotton mattresses became popular, it was just expected that there would be bugs in your bed. Like that expression, don't let the bed bugs bite, that is because that actually used to happen. But these days, pretty much all mattresses have dust mites, so maybe it's not so much that the number of bugs has gone down as the size of the bugs. If you take a look around your house right now, you'll find that almost everything you own was created with the aid of electricity. But interestingly, when houses were first wired for electricity, people were scared that electrical vapors would leak out of the plugs, and so they put stoppers in all the outlets every night. Which kind of makes you wonder, what game-changing technology are we currently afraid of that 100 years from now people are going to talk about how much it's improved their lives and they're going to laugh at us for being afraid of it?